Here's a common electrical mistake a lot of people are making, and I'm ready to clear the air on this urban myth. I've seen a lot of installs do this, and I've also seen this in user manuals, surprisingly, which I'm surprised an electrical engineer of any type would suggest this. And that is, why are people hooking up the ground from an accessory through a relay? And I think it's because they believe that the ground is actually pulling less amperage. Now, let's give you an example. Whether it's a car amplifier or an air compressor or a fuel pump, they're all pulling the same amount of amperage no matter what side of the wire you're pulling from. So if there's a red positive wire and a black negative wire, I have seen people take the black negative ground and hook it up to the relay, or they're running it through the pressure switch, thinking it's going to put less amperage draw through that switch. I'm not quite sure why this is happening, and I think it's because they believe that there's less amperage running through the grounds. And if you go online and look, you will see people repeating this, that ground will pull less amperage, so it's not going to fry that switch. That is not only wrong, but it goes against the law of physics. So a positive wire and a black wire, so if you have an air compressor and it's going to pull 20 amps, and you check on the positive side of that, it's going to show you 20 amps. If you're going to check it on the negative side, it's going to be 20 amps. Surprise. Not only is it unsafe to put that relay or a fuse even, which would be crazy, on the ground side, because you actually want the relay to interrupt the high side of the power, meaning the positive that's going into it. So let's say, for instance, on a fuel pump, and that fuel pump's going to pull 15 amps. It's a big fuel pump in this example. And you have it running through a relay. Well, you don't want to interrupt the signal down the line in the ground. You want to interrupt it in the positive side, because if anything happens on the positive side, you want that to be interrupted for safety reasons. If it's going to interrupt the ground, it's not going to save you from a hot wire that's possibly shorting, or there's some type of issue that the relay was actually protecting you from, or the fuse in this case. So this video is hopefully to help educate people out there that putting a switch or a relay on the ground side is actually not benefiting anything. In fact, it's more dangerous. You want that switch or relay to be on the positive side, because both wires are pulling the exact same amperage.